My name is Nico Steves. Podcasts this summer season will run 15 minutes each in a re-release of my book, The Constant Procession, the history of the Virgin Mary since she passed on. First up, I'd like to thank you for your listening to these weekly Constant Procession podcasts, and also for purchasing plus spreading the word about my book, The Very Fine Light, which is available on Amazon.com. This summertime, I'll podcast the entire audio version of my first book, The Constant Procession. I hope you enjoy these weekly 15-minute installments that will drop every Tuesday morning throughout the summer right here on NicoSteves.com. And if you want to hear the first episode, just search for episode number 512. The Constant Procession is about some of the most well-known apparitions of the Virgin Mary and how my dedication to the Theotokos, or Mother of God, came about. Also, from time to time during these weekly podcast drops, you'll hear updates about my newest book that is now undergoing the line edit process. This is the final creative step before publication. So stay tuned as I will include updates about this new book from time to time. Now, if you really want to keep up with the latest on the new book's self-publishing journey, join my email list at NicoSteves.com. Heck, for those who sign up and are interested, please note that I may be asking you for feedback about the book's title selection as well as the cover art design. So sign up today and tell a friend who may also enjoy this experience into a book being published. My plan is for a late summer book release. And now, my first original work, The Constant Procession. Installment 4. I stumbled onto the country road that led to the farm. A couple of people told me that it had held a great amount of controversy. I also heard that Nancy Fowler had moved away from the site. Remembering back, what impressed me from long ago included the people that made up the crowd. It is certain that the founders of this church, adjacent to the site, believed. More questions. So who does come to this apparition site? Over time, I learned it consists of a handful of faithful people, dedicated since the first days of the apparitions, who remain devoted to the ongoing activities. There is also a large Latino following, as well as a small but constant stream of people from other countries on pilgrimages. Also, after attending services at this church, I discovered a large number of people from Ukraine. Driving back, I could not help noticing that the road below the site is called High Rock Road. When you visit the site at night, you are at eye level with the flashing red lights on top of radio station antennas, flashing on and off in the distance. This reminded me of my readings about the apparitions of Our Lady of Lourdes. It, too, is located on a high mountain. And after closer examination, the same is true for many of the other apparition sites. I remembered from my interview with the owner of the statue, quote, "Who would do but what a mother asks of her child? The Madonna is asked to intercede for those who pray. She is not the one who answers their prayers. She, as the mother of the Son of Man, hears our prayers and then takes our prayers to her Son Jesus." Some people misunderstand the nature of those who pray and their prayers to the Madonna, if they assume she is the one who answers them. I also remembered from Franz Werfel's book, quote, "In her first encounter with the Lady on February 11, 1858, though her eyes are not weary, Bernadette is but one act of seeing now. The life of all her other senses recedes. She does not feel the stones which press her knees. She does not feel the icy cold that is round about her. A warm and blessed drowsiness enfolds her. How well it is with her! How well! How well!" Chapter 6. A Visit. As Bernadette Sauvagnont's sister and friend return from collecting sticks for the fireplace, they see her looking as death is upon her. They throw stones at her. As one strikes, Bernadette says, "What is the matter?" As Franz Werfel wrote, It is between the impact of the pebble and the utterance of her first words. There pass but a few seconds, but these seconds signify a way so long that it cannot be measured by the division of time. When Bernadette felt the sudden little stone, the lady had vanished. As she stands there now, it seems to her, as through this encounter with the lady, she felt as if she had grown half a head taller, and had become more vigorous and sinewy, as well as prettier. And later, as the revelations attract a growing crowd, the local town physician, Dr. Duzon, conducted an investigation of Bernadette on February 21st. In 1858, he wrote, 7:10 a.m. I arrived at the grotto simultaneously with the crowd. Nevertheless, I succeeded in catching up with Bernadette Sauvignon, who had arrived before the others. She made a continuous series of courteous gestures, extremely graceful and reverential at once, towards the niche in the wall of the rock. These gestures were both droll and moving, since there was no visible object towards which they were directed. Bernadette's trance, in fact, seemed upon the whole less a loss of normal consciousness than an enormous concentration of attention. Pieces of this puzzle began falling in place for me. People who believe in Jesus Christ, believe God became the Son of Man and entered the world as Jesus Christ through the Virgin Mary. And so, believers are familiar with the Madonna's role as his mother. And what is less appreciated is the fact that the Madonna experienced an apparition when she was about the same age as Bernadette. The Archangel Gabriel came to the Madonna and told her that God had chosen her to bring the Son of Man into the world. It is also known as the Annunciation of the Virgin Mary. The Virgin Mary spoke to the angel, asking how could this be possible, as she had not been with a man. Quote, "With God, all things are possible," he said. And using her own free will, the Madonna took a great leap of faith as she said, "So be it. I will do this as the handmaid of God." And so, at an age similar to many young people who have witnessed apparitions of the Madonna, the Virgin Mary consented and bore a son who changed the course of history. Thinking about it more, apparitions had been a part of the Madonna's personal earth experience. The Madonna raised her child, and being his mother, this made her closer than anyone to her son. She witnessed him as a human being, God on earth. The Madonna knew about the numerous miracles he performed. She witnessed some of them firsthand. And after the crucifixion, Christ returned and apparates many times, and another Mary, Mary Magdalene, and several other women who went to prepare Christ's body for burial. They find an empty tomb, but meet someone who at the time appeared to be a stranger, but later realized they had seen a resurrected Christ himself. He tells them to go back and inform the apostles he had risen, and where to meet up with them. The origins of the Christian church took form under the leadership of the apostles, who became strengthened in their faith by the apparitions of Christ. The Virgin Mary lived among the apostles and became a respected partner in their efforts to start the Christian church. Chapter 7. After her son's death. Near the end of her life, around 50 A.D., St. Luke is credited with the first portrait of the Madonna. Legends speak of an icon carved in wood as well. Scholars speculate that while sitting for these works of art, the Madonna told St. Luke stories about the life of Jesus. St. Luke includes her stories in his section on the life of Christ in the Bible. The Eastern Orthodox and Roman Catholic churches, then united, hold the belief that when the Madonna had passed away, her complete body passed on to heaven. She did not lie in the ground. And so, with respect to those religious beliefs, besides her son, she is the lone person to pass from life to the hereafter in this way. At this time, the histories of these works of art, also known as Black Madonnas, begin a story all their own. One story indicates the Black Madonna had been buried with St. Luke. In the year 326 A.D., St. Helen finds a portrait of the Black Madonna in Jerusalem and gives it to her son, Emperor Constantine, in Constantinople, which at that time is the center of the world. The final days of the Roman Empire occur in 476 AD as Rome is overtaken by Germanic tribes. The original image or images of the Virgin Mary created by St. Luke found their way to a number of places through the years after that and have been associated with miraculous events. One such occurred around 590 AD. The icon comes to Rome via Pope Gregory. The bubonic plague is devastating Rome. Pope Gregory starts a procession with the icon through the streets, and the people pray for an end to this blight. The plague then ended. Another story tells of Pope Gregory around this time giving Saint Leander, the Bishop of Seville in Spain, the icon of the Black Madonna, which the Spaniards start calling Santa Maria. Chapter 8, A Loss. All is not well in Spain on the far western side of the Mediterranean Sea. The Moors from North Africa have become very powerful. They begin a series of successful invasions of Spain, battling the Christians. Their success drives them onto the mainland of Europe, beginning with land battles on the Spanish coast. The invading Moors gain territory and are continuing their conquests deeper and deeper into Spain. Around 750 AD, as they approach Seville, the Bishop of Seville has this Black Madonna taken, quote, high up into the mountains, unquote, and buried, to keep it out of the hands of the conquering Muslim Moors. For over 600 years, this icon lay buried. It would take another 750 years before the Spanish Christians would retake total control over their country. Meanwhile, this successful conquest of Spain established Moorish culture and Islamic traditions to become mainstream in Spain, and the names of places reflect this power shift. Spain becomes better known as the Iberian Peninsula. The mountain region where the icon is buried is called the Extremadura Mountains, which means, quote, area outside Moor territories, unquote. And the river, which runs alongside the mountain that hid the icon, had been populated by a number of wolves. The Arab translation for wolf is Guadalupe. Hence, the area in Spain became better known as the Guadalupe River region. By the year 1326 AD, the Moors' dominance in the area had been weakening. Sometime during that year, a Spanish cowherder named Gil Cadero is searching for a cow that has wandered away. Searching, he finds this missing cow, who appears to be dead. As he starts to cut the cow's hide, the cow shakes the knife away and gets up. Startled, Gil Cadero notices a woman coming from the woods towards him. Not sure what is happening, Cadero pauses as this apparition speaks to him, telling him to dig on the spot where the cow had been laying down. He hurries to his country town and speaks of the strange event. Not one person believes his story until he shows the cuts on the cow and begs the people to assist him in digging at the spot. A few villagers follow and begin to dig. To everyone's surprise, they uncover the statue of the Black Madonna. Along with it, they uncover other relics that indicates its origins. Soon after the astonishing discovery, a religious order in the area builds a modest memorial to the miraculous discovery of this icon of the Virgin Mary. The people start to refer to it, when translated into English, as Saint Mary by the Wolf River, or, in Spanish, Santa Maria de Guadalupe. Just over a decade later, while on a hunting trip in 1337, King Alfonso XI comes upon this memorial and learns of its lure. Impressed by the tale and rediscovered icon of the Black Madonna, he returns 3 years later to pray to Santa Maria de Guadalupe for victory in the upcoming Battle of Salado. The Spanish are victors in this battle. It becomes a major turning point in driving the Moors from Spain. Upon his return to the memorial, he builds a shrine to honor the Lady. This is Nico Steves. I hope you enjoyed this installment. My book, The Very Fine Light, can be found using the title The Very Fine Light on Amazon.com. Please feel free to contact me at nikosteves.com. That's Nikos Steves, Steves.com. If you like this episode, and for more, share them with friends. This is Nico Steves. Thank you. See you next time.